What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. So what means always my buddy, my coach, my pal, the man with the plan, the guy who's always ready for Knicks, always ready to talk about the orange and blue, always ready to figure out something, to figure out how the hell is this team going to get better? Who are we going to acquire? What are we going to do? I have no idea. This man has so many machinations on a daily basis. The texts are just endless. If I showed you how many responses I got, man, it feels like he's my wife. It's too much. It's too much sometimes.
Somebody on this pod has to play GM, man. Somebody has to play GM.
That is a fact. You are playing in the role of GM, man. It's been crying for Kyle Lowry and everybody since like Timbuktu. So
listen, man, if we got Valanciunas, it would have still been solid, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, you know this voice. You know who it is. It's my guy, John Meleka. John, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Labor Day coming right up. We got the NFL season right around the corner. Preseason's over, thank God. The worst time of the year and the best time of the year. It's insane. Like the hurricanes, been kind of wild. Just like everywhere. But everything's good there. I mean, nothing matters right now in my whole life except for the New York Yankees. It's postseason coming up, and then we got the New York Jets about to start and make me miserable, and hopefully past week 4 because I'm going to that week 4 game in London. So hopefully just like make it past week 4. But my only hope, man, as you know, my hope right now is the New York Knicks, dude. Nothing is bad in the orange and blue. I got orange and blue glasses on everywhere I go right now. Everything is good in Knicks world. So I love talking Knicks, dude. How are you? How are your cats, bro?
They're killing me, man. We're being real, man. The amount of furniture I just had to get rid of, carpets, money. Good thing there's a wedding, so it can all go back on the registry. That's coming up. So, I don't know if this is a ploy by my fiance, soon to be wife. If this was just like good timing to be like, oh well, we have to get rid of everything. I don't know what it is, man. But hey. We're taking it day by day over here. But John,
dude,
I'm burying the lead, man.
I know, man.
We're hiding this magnificent guest on this pod today, and honestly, I don't even know how people. If you haven't watched The Wire, I don't even know what to say to you. Like I would be upset, and I am looking at you too, John. I know you haven't watched it yet, so I am very upset that you haven't watched The Wire yet. And this has to change after this.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about
that. But we have a phenomenal guest with us today. Awesome actor. Avid Knicks fan, rocking the orange and blue, even got the blue do-wet rag on right now. Oh my God, this man's decked out. If you guys know Naaman Bryce, son of Weebay, we got Julito McCullum here on the pod today. Julito, how are you doing today, my man? What's going on?
Alex, John, man, thank you guys for having me. Big fan of what you all do. I'm here, man. Let's talk Knicks. Let's have some fun. Let's do it, man.
Oh my God, we're a fan of you, man. So that's
Thank you.
We appreciate the kind words, man. Appreciate the kind words. But yeah, man, we gotta talk about Knicks. But how you doing today? You just ready to talk Knicks?
I'm good, man. I'm great. Life is good. I'm tired of the summer, ready for it to be over. I hate the heat. I'm not a fan of the heat. I'm not gonna lie. In all aspects. Basketball, life.
I like that. I like that mantra, actually.
So I'm ready for the summer to be over. But yeah, let's get it, man.
All right. So let's start off with the number one thing that's been kind of on docket this past week, which is Nerlens Noel suing Rich Paul for about $58 million in lost earnings. So has everyone read the case, read the story? So for all those who are listening who don't know, Nerlens Noel is suing Rich Paul for $58 million in lost earnings. It all started back when he had the opportunity to sign with the Dallas Mavericks and earn a 4-year, $70 million contract. However, Rich Paul told him then that Rich Paul himself believed that he can get Nerlens Noel to be a max player and get $100 million that season. Long story short, didn't happen. So now what happened? That season, he took a 1-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks, who he was in contract negotiations with to get a 4-year, $70 million deal. During that season, tore his ligament in his hand. I think it was around the thumb. And that season, the Dallas Mavericks didn't want to move on, so it decreased his player value. From there, he went on to go sign with the Oklahoma City Thunder, took a 2-year deal. Second year was a player option, and I believe the first year was worth $3.7 million. He then opted out, took another 1-year deal, performed very well, and was then during the middle of that season offered a $7 to $10 million contract for multiple years. However, what happened is that Nerlens Noel found out that Rich Paul had failed to notify him that he had calls from the Houston Rockets, the LA Clippers that wanted him and were willing to potentially pay more. And during that time, before he even found out, he was thinking of cutting ties with Rich Paul during that season. And then after finding this out, just let him to disconnect. Noel then took a one-year deal with the Knicks. And then, as we all know, Nerlens Noel took a 3-year, $32 million contract this season, with the third year being a team option. So just to get everyone up to speed who wasn't listening. So, guys, I don't know about you. When I hear this, it's very muddy, very like from all sides. Me, though, being always pro player for the most part, I'm going to side with Nerlens Noel. But it's not easy to dissect this thing. So, Julito, I'm going to start off with you, man, since you're our guest. Just based off like the Nerlens Noel contract, what are your initial thoughts? What do you like? Just start going off.
I you know, at first, you know, I'm just like you. I was all, you know, pro player. You know, I was like, listen, I've heard way too many stories about Rich Paul and his dealings with his clients. Let's go. But then once I realized that it's a countersuit, right? So Rich Paul first asked for money he feels he's owed based off of the Knicks deal and I believe something else. And then Nerlens Noel, this $58 million.
Sorry about that.
No, you good.
I don't know.
This $58 million countersuit. So now it's getting muddy for me. It's getting very muddy. And it's okay. If it's true, if Nerlens Noel spoke to maybe Elton Brand at the Sixers, because I believe 76ers was one team that was interested. If he spoke to Morey, if he spoke to these folks and they're saying, we tried to get in contact with Rich, he wasn't available, that's different, right? And I can see that happening because, you know, to be honest, at that time especially, Nerlens was a small fry for Rich Paul or you know, his clients. So I can understand where he probably just was like, I'm going to get it back to him, never did, right? And that's messed up. That does not work for any player. I don't care if you're the last man on the bench. If your agent's not returning calls for you to get a good deal, it doesn't work. At the same time, it's like, I just don't want this to affect the Knicks in any way. You know what I mean? I want Zach LaVine, y'all. I will just be honest. I want Zach LaVine eventually. And he is a Clutch Sport client. And I'm just like, God damn it. Why now?
Yeah.
Why now? You know what I'm saying? So it's very muddy. And I hope it works out for Nerlens. I'm just like you said, Alex, pro player. I think, you know, I love the fact that in the NBA, these players are in control. You know what I mean? They are the ones who do the work. They're at this point in life, 10, 5, 6, 7 years into the league, they're very smart, they're intelligent guys. I know they're starting to figure their stuff out, and agents do get paid a whole lot of money, and I don't know if they deserve all that. So I hope Nerlens, you know, I hope he figures it out. But I've heard a little bit too much from the Clutch Sports, you know, situation, and know it might be some truth to it, and it's unfortunate for real.
John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, number one, I agree wholeheartedly. I just hope it doesn't affect the Knicks, right? Like that's as a Knicks fan, that's my first thought, right? But you know, as attorneys, and honestly, like you're an actor, so you have an agent. So I feel like we all kind of know this world, and if your agent is not like telling you the deal, like not communicating that deal, that's like 101, like major red flag, like major issues here. And now we're not talking like a deal here, a deal there. We're talking like millions of dollars, like in the tens of millions of dollars. So like it then becomes like you're changing generational wealth just by not making a phone call. Meanwhile, you're literally contracted to make that phone call to me. So I mean, just based on that, there's an issue. But if you ask me what I think about it, I think that no Clutch players are touching the Knicks.
Don't say that, John. Don't say that. Don't say that. You don't say that.
That's what I think. And you know, it's funny. Like everyone makes fun of us, right? That we're the CAA Knicks or the CAA Kentucky Knicks. And I mean, at some point, we kind of have to, you know, come to terms with the fact that we are. And we kind of do band together. That's how management works. Yeah. That's how, you know, deals are made. There's only 30 teams. It's easy to like split those guys up. So I don't know if Zach LaVine's coming through. But wait, just on the Zach LaVine note, you don't think that the Bulls experiment's gonna work with him there? You think he's on the move, or you just like him?
I just really like Zach.
Okay, that's fair.
I thought Zach was. I knew Zach was going to be the Zach LaVine we're seeing now. So I just really think he's a good player. And now he's going to be a free agent next year. I hate it when they got DeMar DeRozan and because I'm like, no. What? Don't build. Fuck up so we can get him.
No, you're fine.
It's all good. We can curse on the show.
Okay, perfect. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. But the thought of it is cool. I think we needed two. I mean, we have Fournier, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But I like the idea of an athletic two. You know what I mean? We haven't had an athletic wing in so long, and it's necessary. He can do everything. He dribbles. He can create some plays. He's a shot creator. He's not horrible on defense. He does a little bit of everything. So, but I know that's probably a pipe dream at this point. So yeah.
You think he clashes with RJ?
Well, hold on. Before you get into that, to save you guys, we do have a clutch player on the team. He's a two-way contract player, Jericho Sims. So,
yeah.
But he didn't have a choice. We chose him.
That was before the Nerlens Noel conversation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the Bulls are going to be that good, and maybe it's a possibility.
Let me ask you this: were you on the Lonzo train? Like, did you want Lonzo to be a point guard here?
There was like 20%, 30% of me that actually did, but I really needed the scoring point guard. Okay. I'm so sick of point guards who can't do anything on the offensive end. Yeah, Lonzo can shoot, cool. What did he shoot, like 35% this year or somewhere around there? But at the same time, I'm like, I wanted a bona fide scorer, whoever that was. I just knew we weren't going to get a point guard, so any second year player and up, I wanted a proven point guard, and I'm ecstatic for Kimba. So I left the Lonzo train very early on.
Oh man, I guess. But to wrap up the Nerlens Noel contract, I like a lot of what you both said. Like as I already said, I'm a pro player as well. I think and John kind of touched on it too, like being attorneys and like when you look at the situation, I think the most interesting thing to me is the $58 million that he wants to get back in return. And I'm just like, how one, I don't know how you calculate that. Two, I don't know how you even prove that to say, because most of it's definitely from the Dallas Mavericks contract that he believes he could have earned. And at that point, your agent is only supposed to do you so much. Even as attorneys, when you are representing a client, I'm not supposed to fully tell you what to do. I'm supposed to guide you to make that right decision, but I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. Like, you do have to think for yourself and think, like, am I being a little too advantageous in the situation or being a little too conservative? And you got to work with me to push me to do what we're supposed to do. And in this case, when you see Nerlens Noel thinking that he is also a max player and that he could get $100 million contract and listen to Rich Paul, I don't blame, it's so hard for me to say that's Rich Paul's fault. Maybe Rich Paul himself should stop like thinking that he can get everyone and stop overselling everybody. Sure, but that's also his job, is to be in that mindset to oversell as an agent, to get you into that door, because you have to be aggressive. So I feel it for Noel. I don't know if he'll get the $58 million, but it will be an interesting battle just to see how this all plays out. So
why would my fault to cut you off.
No.
Why would Nerlens meet a guy at a party and automatically allow him to redirect his entire journey of life? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Dude,
like, what is?
Because LeBron. I don't know if that's your situation. Like, he's coming up. Like, you're at a big party. Huge actors, agents. Like, yo, I do everything. I'm the GM, like everybody says I am. I'm like, the phantom GM of the league. I do whatever I want. Come with me.
John, I'm the wrong person to say that to, because I'll probably be like, I'm taking $70 million. I know my limits. I know my limits, John. Alex, I know my limits. I know I may not be Will Ferrell. If they offer me $70 million to do Step Brothers 2, I'm taking it. Okay?
Deal. I saw that Hamilton audition, bro. You know what
I'm saying? I'm expanding my horizons. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's great. Actually, so let's keep this thing moving. And Julito, you actually mentioned it. We're going to talk about the offseason acquisitions of Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, the bringing back of Nerlens Noel, Taj Gibson, Alec Burks, right? Extending Julius. What are your thoughts, man, on this offseason? Like, there was a lot of, trust me, like even being on Knicks fan TV, like during like free agency and during the draft, everyone was just angry. It's like, Evan Fournier for this much? Who is this guy? And it's like, whoa. Even Nerlens Noel contract was like, everyone was just like antennas up in the air, just like ready to throw Leon Rose and company out the window. So what were your, I want to know the thought by thought process from like draft night to at the end. Like, what were your feelings? What was your thoughts when everything was going down?
Oh man. So we're going to take it to draft night. So if I was just watching on TV like everybody else, it would have been perfectly fine. Shout out to my brother.
Wholesome night.
Right? If it was just like a cool night, it would have been amazing. But I went, shout out to my brother Sim at Nothing But Knicks. We had a live viewing party. Right? So we're in Atlantic City. It's a party. It's all of this going on. We've been waiting for hours. It starts like 4 hours before the draft. And then we trade like 17 times. And I'm just so confused. But no, to be honest, man, I'm so happy with first off, I'm just happy with the front office we have. You know what I mean? We have competent people who know what they're doing. We have guys who their relationships are great around the league. They care about the team. They know what they're doing. And I love everything we did this off season, man. I'm from draft night. You know, honestly, I was huge on Deuce before we even got to the draft. You know what I mean? I was huge on Deuce. And then we get him at, late.
He was coming up. He was coming up in the rumor mill like a couple weeks before. And the reason why, we're pretty much friends before we even, technically met today is because like we're interacting daily on the Knicks Twitter circles. You know what I mean? And so Deuce McBride's name came up. So we were all kind of like, diving into those highlights a couple days before.
Deuce is like, outside of Davion Mitchell, Deuce is probably the second best guard defender in the entire draft. And I was just like, yo, if we can leave this draft, because I honestly, I didn't think we were going to get I didn't think we were going to leave with 3 draft picks, to be honed. I thought we were going to get one solid draft pick.
And the rest of us.
Right? I thought we were going to get one solid draft pick and use the other 2 to trade up maybe. Yeah. And I said, the 2 days prior, I said, if we leave with just Deuce, I'm fine with it. We got Deuce. 2 days before the draft, I saw the Jericho Sims hit his head on the damn rim. I just remember saying that's a freak of nature. We get Jericho. Then Quentin. Then that's first off. That's our late draft pick.
That's what I'm saying. Grimes is always the last note, and I think that's hilarious.
That's the Knicks. That's our Knicks curse. They're like, we're gonna give you the last draft pick. Your late draft picks are gonna be your best. First draft picks are gonna be trash. But I like Quentin Grimes too. You know what I mean? I like Quentin. I think he's gonna be really good. I'm a Deuce fanatic, man. He does everything I need in a point guard, to be honest, man. Like, if we really are able to truly allow him some opportunity to really create and learn and to come into the league playing under Kemba and Derrick Rose,
oh my God,
he's gonna be so good, man. His defense is excellent for a rookie point guard. You know what I mean? Like he's and that's scary because he's gonna learn defense as he goes. Look at Marcus Smart. He wasn't the outstanding defender he is year 1, not even year 2. And I think Deuce is gonna be an amazing. And then Jericho, listen. We got champagne problems, fellas. We got this guy Jericho.
We have champagne problems at center.
Come on, man.
come on.
Yo, he's going to work in training camp. It's gonna be a problem, y'all.
All right.
I don't know. It's gonna be a problem. I know he probably won't play, right? But in training camp, he's gonna give Mitch and Nerlens a run for their money. I promise you that.
He's gonna get some run in Westchester too.
Oh, for sure. Oh, he's gonna beast in Westchester. That's
kill in Westchester.
I'm when I'm back in like White Plains, I always go to a Westchester Knicks game.
Oh, I gotta go this year. I gotta go this year because he's gonna.
I'm gonna hit you. I'll hit you up when I'm going, man, and then we can link up and go watch them. Because they're fun. Actually, that is. If you want to talk about like the no like BS like in and you're out and you want to go back home and do your thing, like I have never seen something more efficient than a Westchester G League game, like a Westchester Knicks game or a G League game in general. It's like, all right, everyone get in your seats on time. We're starting this thing on time. 15-minute break. Everyone gets back out. Everyone's playing. No commercial breaks. Nothing. You're in, that's out, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm like, damn. Like I was like, what time did I get here? 7 o'clock. I'm out by 8:30. Shit, I'm ready to go. Let's go, man. Let's go out.
That's the best.
They're good. Yeah, I think those highlights. I think we're gonna have a lot of those highlights coming through from him. Do you think any of those guys are gonna play? Like get real minutes? You're talking about McGrath, Deuce and his defense and Grimes. Do you think they're gonna get in there or not really?
I think, to be honest, I think because Tibbs just doesn't play rookies.
I know.
You know what I mean? I think, and we're so deep now at this point, right? Like, yes, last year when we got quickly. Of course, Obi was going to play. He had to, even if it was his 9-10 minutes a game. He had to play. But quickly, we needed some guard play. And now that it's such a logjam at every position, I don't think they're going to play, to be honest. But I just love what Deuce is going to bring in practice, because now this year we will finally have a practice. I love what they're going to bring in training camp. I love that they're going to apply pressure on our starters and our guys off the bench, and it's going to bring some good competition that I think is necessary. And we're very deep, man. I think we're the deepest team in the league, to be honest, and because of that, we have like an opportunity to really go deep in this season, and knock on wood in the playoffs, man. I like where we are right now, y'all.
All right.
I like where we are too, and so you must have been super hyped watching Summer League, and like I wish I was next to you watching Deuce like go.
Oh yeah, Deuce. League. Yes, I was. Yeah, I was treating him like he was like Allen Iverson. Because and the crazy thing is, it's not just because it's not about the points. It's actually not about the stats for me. I've been watching basketball so long. I can see through all that stats shit. Like, honestly, for me, quickly stats was kind of empty at points.
I agree.
We know he's going to put up 20 a game in the summer league. He has to. Those guys may not touch a floor that he's going. But there were certain things that Deuce was doing and how he was competing that I know it's going to translate. You know what I mean? And Jericho also, it's going to translate. So I wasn't as hyped because, honestly, what Obi and Quickly did, they were supposed to do. They hadn't that's what you do when you're in summer league, and you're the 8th pick. You're Quickly, to me, one of the best shooters in summer league. You know what I mean? He was the guy. He was top 2 shooters in the whole league,
and he should be.
Right, John? So I wasn't that hyped, but I like what I saw with Deuce. I like what I saw with Grimes the last 2 games. And Jericho, if he gets time, man, because he has the build, it's all about the muscle in the league, man. Like, and that's why at times Mitchell would struggle or Nerlens would struggle because they're just not strong enough or have enough, the firepower to create a shot against a 7-footer. But Jericho's good, man. So we'll see.
Yo, Alex. Julito's been doing this thing, right, where he keeps ignoring Obi, dude. Because he has a problem with Obi, dude. He has a problem with Obi, and he keeps going around him. He's mentioned the entire roster, like Summer League, and he keeps avoiding Obi because he doesn't like Obi. So, yo, Julito, right now, bring it to the court of Alex, yo. What do you got? Tell us why. You hate Obi. Why would you get?
I don't hate Obi Toppin.
Alex.
I don't hate Obi Toppin. I don't hate Obi Toppin. Obi is. It's just like, it's like you got a kid, right, that you really love. They're so sweet. They're so nice, but they just do stupid things sometimes. Right? And you're just like maybe it's your cousin's kid, and you love your cousin's kid, but he just always wants to ask you, do you got games on your phone? It's a no. And it's just, I can't forget how I felt when I was watching him last year in his rookie season.
But he was just a young pup.
Obi's 24.
I know, but
here we go. Here we go with the
No, Obi's a grown man. Obi can rent a car right now.
Not yet.
Oh,
One year.
That's a big 25.
Okay. Obi's grown. I don't know. I'll say it. I've said it already. I'll say it again. I just want to be proven wrong. I like what I saw at the end of the season with Obi. Even like what I saw in the playoffs. I just think that Obi needs confidence. Obi needs another level of energy or burst to really. I think his second season will be, of course, way better because there were times out there, fellas, where I thought he was like shell shocked, where I thought he was caught in the moment. It was a little too big for him.
He was.
Yeah, you know, and I just didn't like what I saw.
Yeah.
I like what I saw in the summer league, but again, you're the number 8 pick from last year. You should be doing this against guys who probably will never see a floor. And if you look at when we went against Toronto and Scotty Barnes, he didn't do that shit against Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's I'm a little nervous, you know what I mean? But I hope Obi proves me wrong. I'm gonna stop talking shit about Obi. This is the last time I'm gonna talk shit about Obi. The last podcast.
Done.
But
and I can't.
I'll add on to that though. But it's like you're right. And this to start off with Obi against Scotty Barnes. This is where people are saying, let's get some Obi at the small ball 5. I'm just like, let's cut that right now. If Scotty Barnes is doing what he did to Obi Toppin, there's no way we're gonna watch Obi play small ball 5. That is just that during summer league too. Let's just cut that out right now.
Right.
But I agree. Like Obi last season, you saw it was like a deer in the headlights. He didn't have that confidence. He was kind of confused of what to do. But when Derrick Rose talked to him, say, "Hey man, if you're not contributing offensively, just grab the boards, fight for every board. That matters." And you saw that he got better at doing that. And this summer league, I saw more confidence out of Obi, and maybe that's just because okay, you're going against rookies and some second-year guys, so it's kind of like that high school mentality, like when you're playing the sport. Once you get bumped up to varsity, you still feel like the young pup when you're with everyone in your own class. Like, all right, I got this. I'm amongst my peers. It's all cool. But no, you definitely see that with Obi, and I want to see what he's going to do this upcoming season because I think we're going to see. I think I agree with you, Julito, where I think he's going to be better. But I don't think that confidence is going to be fully there yet. I think we're not going to see that confidence probably until year 3. Yeah. And maybe even year 4, somewhere around there, because I think it just takes to be a 4. You're even though it's new, where you're trying to be a stretch, you're trying to be more agile, run, and not necessarily be like what Julius is, which is a guy who can, even though Julius shot more this year, but being a guy who can body in the paint, that takes a lot of confidence and strength. And Obi doesn't necessarily have all of that yet. So that's where, unless he's going against someone like him, like someone who's his built, I could see him just going up there, kind of like the Dwight Howard effect, where Dwight Howard is ready to go against everyone his size or lesser than, but once he sees, someone who's way better than him, he's like, yo, let's, I don't know if I want to do all this action right now. I'm ready to go back on the bench, coach. But I agree. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Obi, but I think he's just more of a guy who's going to be a slow burn type of guy until we get the full effect of him.
He's just mini Amari, man. He just needs a point guard. All I've been saying all last year, because I was feeling the same way you did, man. As soon as I was watching him, I was like, what am I watching? And Alex was getting at me because he was like, yo, you're being too much. Because I was like, he needs an off season. He just needs an off season. He can't play right now. Yeah. And I'm hoping that he does something. But that's my feeling on Deuce. And Grimes, they're gonna be fine, but how much of it is gonna be Quickly's ridiculous 3-pointers, or is it gonna be more just Obi standing on the court, not looking, they know what they're doing? And I've been asking. Let me ask you, Julito. I've been asking this hypothetical to everyone, and since you were there, I assume were you at game 1?
I was at game 1, yeah.
Okay, you were at game 1 too. Okay, so you were there just like me, staring at that thing, and it went in.
Question.
It went in. So I've been asking you a question. If Deuce is there and gets that sub in instead of Frank, is it a missed shot? Is it a little more contested? Is it an easier shot? What's going on there?
No, I think regardless of who it is, to be honest, there's a high chance that it would have been the same result if you wait until 20 seconds at the end of the game to put your guy in. He's going to be... Listen, some of the best athletes in the world, they need to warm up. They need to be in the game for a bit, to figure it out, to see the landscape, to get a feel of it. I thought that was the worst coaching I've probably seen in NBA in 5 years, 10 years, because it was like, why? Just go with EP at that point. And I don't even say that guy's name. Y'all know I don't even say his name. But I was just like, just go with him, because you just can't put Frank. And the situation that bothered me is that we didn't make Frank situational all year for the most part.
Yeah, I know. We didn't put
him in at any defensive point.
Exactly.
Besides the Nets game, or it was maybe like one or two other instances. You had 70 games to figure it out, to make him that situational guy, and you didn't do it. So I don't know if Deuce would have made a difference, but I think Tibbs is gonna like Deuce a lot more than he liked Frank. And by that point, if we need him to give us one stop at the end of the game, he probably had played maybe 10 minutes prior or 5, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a world of difference. I think it's too much pressure on a guy like Frank to go in a game in the playoffs when Frank hadn't reached the playoffs. That's Frank's first playoff game.
Yep.
It's too much pressure for a guy to get a stop against one of the best offensive players in the game, Trae Young.
Yeah, I know.
Not a fan of Trae Young, y'all know it. So.
I know, dude. Well, we had to sit through it. We had to sit through it, man. Like, as much as I hate to say it as well, like we groomed this Reggie Miller. Like we made a Reggie Miller type, and that's Trae Young, dude. What he did to us game 1, and you were there, I was there, and then what he made us do game 2, like how we reacted to game 2, and like we can get into game 2 for a second, but like that was because of like him walking off the court, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll see you in Atlanta, I'll see you all that, and then even like the diss songs from Knicks Twitter, right? Shout out to Papa Lev, start popping out. Shout out Papa Lev. And that'll happen after like we close down like the street. Right after that game, it was pandemonium. Everyone was making fun of us, right? And funny story about that, I actually saw you and all of Knicks Twitter, Knicks Fan TV, CP, Papa Lev, Chris, Danny B was there, and I also I've seen all of them. I said what up, and I didn't recognize you as because I didn't watch The Wire. We'll get into that shortly. So I was just like, oh, like what up? Like I think I recognize you. Like I just said what up. We were just like cheering about the Knicks, whatever. But I was with my friend Mark, and then like he was like whatever. Like he was acting sort of weird after that. And then he's like, dude, how do you know him? I was like, oh, like Knicks Twitter, whatever. We're just like celebrating. He's like, dude, that's Naaman Bryce from The Wire. I was like, oh, then I definitely know him. Yeah, that's the right guy. And he's like, did you ever? I was like, no. So like, what's your thought on that? Do you not think Trae Young is like Reggie? And honestly, like, what was like your thoughts on like how we acted end of game 2? Like, do you think it was justified?
I loved it. Okay, I loved it. No, cool. For me, it was bigger than a New York Knicks playoff win. It was New York City. It was humans that went through a year and a half of some of the worst moments we'll probably ever experience. God willing, right? It was a moment for us to say we did it. You know what I mean? We here. We get to here. You know what I mean? We get to be joyful. You know what I mean? We get to be happy. So I had a blast, and I don't care who talks about us, because at the end of the day, most of the people who I have Atlanta Hawks fans coming at me like, y'all have not done anything since Dominique Wilkins. Like, stop it. Like, are you serious? Like, most of Atlanta is filled with people from New York. Yeah. Stop it. Sacramento Kings fans talking about us. Y'all need to not even have a conversation about basketball. First of all. Because if De'Aaron Fox ever leaves, it's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is New York, and we have that was a moment for us to bask in the glory of all of what we've been through. and our team won a playoff game. It's been what 7 years, 8 years, I believe.
I know. Yeah. And the heartbreak, dude. The heartbreak from game one, like we were on such a low. Like I couldn't even sleep, bro.
If RJ Barrett, what was it? Someone hit a three in the corner. If RJ Barrett gets to that corner three quicker than a millisecond quicker, we win game one. We win game two. It's a completely different series.
They did have a Ray Allen three.
Firepower. That's all. But I loved what occurred. I was one of the people who recorded when we hit 500 for the first time, and everybody was going crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Yo, how can you judge people who are diehard fans from turning up for their team? You can't judge that.
Yeah.
That's idiotic to say.
Yeah.
Don't celebrate. I'm celebrating everything. I'm celebrating when we win the opener against the Boston Celtics. I'm celebrating Christmas Day victory. I'm celebrating. Judge me if you want. I don't care.
I love that. I love it. Because I was there, so I agree. But like, I just want to see.
Yo, John, was that not one of like the dopest moments you probably experienced as a Knicks fan?
Dude, I had no intention of going home. I had literally no intention of going home. Like even like I got on like one of like the, I guess like whoever sent the video to Barstool. The guy was like standing like up, like up on the stairs where I guess like CP and all them congregate. Like so I was just up chilling before we closed down the street for the fire trucks. I was just like hanging out in the back. I just wanted to watch it. Like I was just like sick. I was like by myself. I was like just chilling, just like watching everything going on.
Yeah.
And like you could see me on the video, like just some kid, just like I was also wearing like a black Knicks shirt, like it was black, had like one of like the New York, so it doesn't even look like
doesn't even look like you were at the game.
Yeah. I'm just like watching. I'm just like my face is
people
like,
are banging on the MSG glass across the street while they're doing the post game. It was
nuts. That's what I'm saying. And like I remember like the cops got so pissed at us because like the fire truck was trying to go through. Like, all right, like now we have emergencies, guys. Like, let's
imagine if the Knicks win championship.
Dude, oh man, you saw
it like a playoff series, bro. This is a playoff series because like I had tickets to Game 7. I was ready for my heart to explode if there was a game 7. Like I was ready to like need actual like tranquilizers to be able to make it through that game.
What you saying, Alex?
No, I was just gonna say like if the Knicks win a championship, we all saw what happened to the Philly after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It's gonna be worse than that.
It's gonna be
absolutely worse than that. It's just
someone's gonna go to the Statue of Liberty, off the fire off the lady's hand. Someone's taking the M off of the Madison Square Garden sign. It's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. So,
someone will try to take the American flag off the Brooklyn Bridge that night.
Come on, man, take that shit off, man.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait for that. I will be, man. I need to see a championship, man. I was too young for the Yankees. Wasn't even around for the Jets, so I need something. The Knicks.
You were saying for the Giants.
I'm not a Giants fan, though. I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Jets fan.
Okay, I get it. You need to be a fan of the team because I'm not a Giants fan like that either. But I was like, it was a moment for us,
I was happy that Tom Brady lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It was a moment for us.
Listen. Like I went. And I was like, wow, imagine this was the Jets. Like, that's like, I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm just like.
This is how it looks?
Because it's never going to happen. Like, I'm just like, this is how
the worst part is?
This is how a Mets fan feels, like, every time there's a Yankees parade.
The worst part is that I actually live in Boston right now. So, yeah.
How dare you?
Look, man. Look, my career paths led me out here. The love of my life is out here. So things happen along the way.
Got you.
But I'll tell you what the worst thing is that the law school that I attended was right next. It's like parallel and a block over from where all the parades go down. So I have to see the Red Sox. I have to see the Patriots. I have to see every single. And I've been here since 2014. So I have to see every single one. And I'm like, wow, are you kidding me? I was like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, I was like, this is not real. I'm like, the Giants, like, I couldn't even go to, like, the Giants was like, I was in college when they won the first one. The second one, I was like, thank you for doing it again. I won't go. I can't take off work for this. But it's That's the most obnoxious thing. But getting back onto the better team that's blue with some orange in it. Let's talk about let's get into let's finish the free agency stuff, because I know we kind of went off the haywire. So what are your thoughts about like Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier coming on the team, just to wrap that up?
Yeah, I love Kemba, man. I've heard so many great things about Kemba. You know what I mean? In his tenure at the Bobcats, and then
oh my god,
right? Like I've heard so many great things about him, and I'm so happy he's here. I wanted a guy who was a mature point guard. Mm-hmm. You know, I know Tibbs his brain would have exploded with like a rookie or like a hothead.
It just wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't have happened, right? Because if it would, we would have had Kevin Porter Jr., right? But anyway.
Man,
or Oubre.
Or Oubre. We would have had either of them, but we don't. I know Tibbs wanted a mature point guard. I think that's what I wanted. And I also, like I said earlier, I wanted a point guard that can score. We got both. Of course, his knees is an issue. I pray to God that his knees and
all of our point guards' knees, bro. Him and Rose now. That's a problem. We're just praying to the knee gods.
Praying for the knee gods.
Put in a prayer for me, bro. I
my knee has been shaky too, so at this point, all of our knees need some help. But no, I love Kemba, and I think he's gonna do well, man. Just that mentality he's gonna come with, being a New York kid. See, that's the thing, right? Obi was born in Brooklyn, but he spent a lot of time elsewhere. Kemba's like a born and raised, thoroughbred New Yorker, you know, and I think it's just gonna translate into your success. And then Fournier, I really like Fournier, man. I think he's a scrappy, you know, European guy who's like, he loves New York already. He's been wanting to play here. He's very articulate and like intelligent. Like, I love the fact that when you hear him talk, he knows the game. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to, not necessarily how to win, because he hasn't been in a lot of winning environments, but at the same time, he knows what it takes. And I think he's going to do well for us. And at this point, we needed some guys that you can, even if you just put him in a corner, he's going to do more than just throw the ball up when at some point.
Yeah.
Even if you just give me a head fake.
Just add Kevin Knox, bro. Just add him.
You know what I mean?
Just add Kevin Knox.
At this point, right? I'm just saying, like, if you get the ball in the corner and you're just an inch wide, that doesn't mean you always have to shoot the ball. Give me some playmaking. Give me a pump fake. But my issue too was last year we pump faked the hell out of that basketball. Oh my God! I would be writing on Twitter like, if we don't stop pump faking, at a point they're gonna understand that we're gonna pump fake every play. So I like the fact that we got some shot creators.
Yeah,
mid-ranger. Come on, man. If you look at it, there was the only person on our team that could hit a mid-range shot was Julius Randle. That's it. No one else would even take a mid-range.
RJ would take him and miss. Take those elbows.
And Reggie would do it too, but he'd take those like long.
Reggie's was horrible. That was like a 3-pointer for the most part. He throw it like real high in the air because he thinks it's a 3 in his brain. And quickly with his damn floaters, and I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody knows you're gonna float the ball now at this point. So we got some real shot creators, and I just think it was an awesome job by our front office. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been tearing us up for years, bro. As a Knicks fan, you know.
Oh man, look, to finally get a Knicks killer in the orange and blue. I want to see how that works. I really want to see how that works, because if we who is it? If we got Ross up in here too, that'd be too much.
Crazy, too much. That's too much. If we got Kelly Olynyk, oh my God. Kelly Olynyk looks like Larry Bird when we play him, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Get all those guys. Like, we need all those guys.
We need one. All we need is one true Knick killer, and I'm fine with it. And he's from New York. Everybody else would have came here and averaged like 2 points a game.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oh my God! If we had Kelly Olynyk on this team, you want to talk about pulling out your hair? Tid would be pulling out his hair. Kelly Olynyk's hair.
My hair.
Yo,
he don't play no defense.
Block the rim.
Yo, Olay out there. It's Olay. Kelly Olynyk plays no. We got that's the thing. Kemba's defense is not like the greatest. Evan's defense is not like superb, but they're just effort guys. And all I want is guys that give you some effort on a defensive end. not everybody's going to be the best defender in the world because you're playing against some of the best offensive players. Every night, Kimba's going to see some of the best point guards. If you look at the league right now.
I know. The point guards are crazy.
Half of the starting point guards are probably going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So at this point, we don't need you to. Steph Curry's going to get his. Westbrook's going to get his. Who else? There's so many. They're going to get theirs. Yeah. Just give me something on the offensive end, and we haven't had that in a while. And I think this is the year that we're gonna do wonders with a scoring point guard.
Yeah, side note, I always I always just like when people are like, well, my point guard's not a lockdown defender. I'm like, at what point do you need who's your point guard guarding outside the point guard? Who?
What point guard is a lockdown defender for real? Marcus Smart, who's been a shooting guard last 5 years. He's finally gonna play point guard.
Honestly, that's why Shea Alexander's like this enigma, because he was like a defensive point guard. Like, oh, we haven't had one of these since Chris Paul.
Wait, but did you see that ESPN just put him as a shooting guard? They put him in the power rankings of best shooting guard.
Listen, dude, ESPN just sponsored a team that doesn't exist to play 2 football games at high school this weekend. So I don't care where they're ranking shooting guards. I don't care what they have to say.
That's a fact.
You talk about you think the Knicks are incompetent, bro?
Oh my god!
At least we're signing NBA players, like that belong to the NBA, like are NBA eligible.
How didn't you know those grown ass men are not high school football players? I'm so confused,
dude. And they were so bad, bro.
They were trash. Come on,
awful. But look, man, they're just a content now, so that's all it is. They put out their top 100. You're like, how the hell is Lonzo?
That's exactly what they want.
Lonzo higher than people. I'm just like,
that's exactly what they want. That's exactly they literally want that.
RJ was on that list for the shooting guards, even though he's our small forward. But okay, but he was on the list, so we give ESPN that.
Yeah, we'll give him that for sure. Let's keep it moving on though. We can slander ESPN all day. I love it. How about Mitchell Robinson, man? $44 million potential extension that the Knicks are looking to offer him. Do you think that we get a deal done? I mean, that if we get a deal done before the season, I would personally be shocked. I don't know how do you guys feel?
Same. I would be shocked. I don't know if they're ready to commit to him yet. And if anything showed you that, it's what's happening now. He's not. He doesn't have an extension with us as yet, right?
Well, dude, the deadline is beginning of this season.
Right.
That's coming up. Like, there's no time to trust him before. So, like, what are you waiting for? You're waiting to see how he looks in training camp? Like,
I don't even like the quote. The quote weirded me out with unless it's not. We're willing to re-sign him if it's not crazy. Like, what? Who told you that quote?
Capped. It's already capped. That's why it doesn't make sense. It can't be crazy. We can't say here's $200 million. It's literally capped.
Right. So just if they were really in support of like Mitch in a very serious way, there wouldn't be no. If y'all notice, and I'm sure y'all have, there's nothing that comes out about this front office. There's no news. Yep. They are like, it's the Costa Nostra. What do you call it? It's the Sopranos. I'm watching Sopranos right now, so I'll say it's Tony in them, right? Nothing comes out. They are the legit organized crime business, right?
Yeah.
Nothing comes out. So for that to come out about, unless it's not crazy, we are willing, but
nonsense.
It's nonsense, and I don't know, man.
I love it.
I have to see Mitch play at least like 20 games.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna let him play it out and be restricted? So you're gonna be restricted after this?
I think you gotta let him just play until like the halfway point of the season to see if you want to trade him or not, and that's where you start to think about.
I'm with the restricted. I'm actually with the restricted. Let's see what if nobody's gonna offer him an outrageous number. Nobody is gonna be that crazy to give Mitchell Robinson $20 million a year. Anything under 15, he deserves. To be honest,
just give him the extension, and then I think it's a tradable contract. I just think they want a discount.
They do.
That's what it is. They just don't want to sign the full. They just like, yo, come on, bro. You've been injured. You've been in foul trouble when you came back. You had 6 good games. So you got injured again. There was a different injury. Like, give us a discount, man. Come on. Like,
and like, you know, and like, do you blame? And like, I don't blame the Knicks for saying, hey, we want a discount. Like, look, your previous record. Like, we've seen. Like, I remember like when he first came into the league, he was like one of the most he had the highest PER of all the rookies. I had the
He
highest
took a year off,
shooting
though.
percentage. Huh?
He took a year off before college. Like he was out a year, so we were already took. We're like, all right, fine. Like second round pick, come through. So like,
but that's what I'm saying.
It's always an issue, bro. Even from the beginning.
6 agents. There's a lot going on. There's so many red flags, and it's like I don't think this is all him. I don't think this is all on Mitch himself. I think he's just a kid still growing up because he hasn't truly had that guidance. That's how I'm just reading it. I'm not saying that he is. That's just how I'm reading it. But if I'm the Knicks, I'm like, whoa, like if we want to give you an extension, here's the deal. Like here's what we think we can give for you because you're still tradable. We're still worried about your injuries. We're worried about like your production on the court. We got a good sample size from you last season on what you could do on the court with some actually good coaching. Let's see if you can replicate that again, be healthy for a full season, and we can reward you with this minimal contract. I don't know. And like my thing is like we always hear like, oh, they signed a contract and like we feel like nothing can ever be restructured. Contracts to be restructured. They really want to be like those type of front office guys, and we've seen that. Well, they see what we did for Julius. They saw how they worked with like Evan Fournier and everybody, how they brought everyone else back and paid them. Like I don't necessarily think Alec Burks is worth the amount of money that he got, but they did him justice because hey, he performed last season. Same thing with Noel.
He supported and created a new narrative for the Knicks. And you gotta be, if you got guys on the team that are creating and helping this new journey, you gotta pay them. You have to tell a Bradley Beal, this is how we work. This is what we do. To tell a Zach LaVine, this is what we do. You can't have these guys do what they did for us last year and then not pay them. It doesn't work. But if you don't mind, as far as the Mitch situation, he's coming off of, I believe he had 2 injuries last year.
Yeah,
they were different. One was a foot.
One was his foot, and the other one was the hand.
Hand, right? 2 injuries last season.
But freak accidents, right?
Yeah,
freak accident. He's super immature. He can't create a shot for himself, and he was undrafted. They want to fucking.
Oh, he drafted him.
They were. Excuse me. Second
round pick. Yeah, second pick.
The last pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Undrafted, but who?
Yeah.
Tomatoes. Leon Rose wants a deal. He does not want to give that guy $18 million a year, $15 million. He wants a deal, and I think that's what they're waiting on.
You think he's gonna get it or no? You get the deadline this season. We're not gonna talk to you before the end of the season on this pod. So what do you got? You gotta give it to us right now.
Will Mitchell Robertson get an extension? Will he get an extension before the season starts? I don't think so.
Alex, what do you got?
I don't think so either. Although I forget what we said because we discussed this not too long ago. I would like for him to get that extension to like get it off the table and not have this looming issue. And I think he could still get a tradable contract, even if it's at the $54 million, like the max that they were talking about. If they get him for 44, that's a very tradable contract for Mitch because what you're selling him on is like the potential of saying, all right, hey, look, we got this guy. Look how he is. Like when he had some actual coaching, he didn't have actual coaching for the first 2 years. Mm-hmm. And, he had 2 freak injuries. If he has like a normal injury again this season, you're like, how many times is it really going to happen? I can argue saying, look, the first season he played 81% of his games, right? He played over 60 games. Second season, he played a majority of them. Only missed, I think, 6, even though that was the COVID season. Mm-hmm. This season, you could say, hey, 2 freak injuries. It happens for people, but then they come back and they play most of their career, like play more than 60 plus games. So that's what you would sell him on. And I think for that type of contract, I'd like to see it. I don't think it happens though. I don't think he's justified it to even get the extension right now because it's such a small sample size. It's cool to get blocks. It's cool that he's freakishly athletic. It's cool that he can guard guys on the perimeter. Like the theory of Mitch is what is the most intriguing thing about him is that he is a 7-footer who is agile, athletic. Now he put on some weight and you're like, what can this guy like? That's what we're all salivating in the mouth. We're like, if this guy puts it all together, we are golden, like absolutely golden at the 5. Like lock him in, but we just don't have that yet. We don't know. He's not gonna. And I would cry if he does become good and we give him a Rudy Gobert contract. You would find me crying on the floor. Like, what have we just done?
I think the worst thing that happened for us was that Robert Williams getting that deal. with the Celtics.
Oh yeah.
What did he get, like 10 million a year, 11 or
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that could happen because now he actually has some bait to say, listen, I'm your starting center. This guy's never started a game. He started maybe 10 games. Look what he got.
And look at that's interesting because I think if you're Mitch, you're also like, yo, look what happened to Jared Allen. Remember, every day it was me versus Jared Allen, me versus Jared Allen. This boy is making hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm just trying to get half of that, man, as my max. So, to be honest, guys, I think Mitch is going to sign. I think we're going to extend him before the season, even if and it goes a little bit to, I think, Julito, I'm going to use like one of your points as one of my premise because the fact that like, yo, we're going to pay you now and it's sort of going to like equal for this year's books already. You know what I mean? It's going to count for that. We're going to like count it. Like, and this is an off year for the Knicks anyway, in my opinion. Like, we don't care if we like get far, if we lose. I think like soon it's going to start mattering. Yeah. Like, dude, we have to start. Like, this is a play. You know, this is like a.
We're not in a win now mode yet.
We're not yet, and I think that we could like sort of use this extension, and then like if not, we could trade him. Rick Carlisle. We'll take Mitch Robinson. I promise you. Next year, in 2 years, dude, he will take him. I promise you. No matter where Rick Carlisle is, he will take Mitch Robinson. I will bet my life.
Where's Rick at in Indiana?
Yeah, he's Indiana now. I'm telling you, he will take.
I know. I agree with you because I want Miles Turner.
You want Miles Turner?
Oh. I want Miles, man.
Ooh, Alex, what do you got to say about that?
I find that very. I mean, I'm interested.
I've had so many.
You got him stuttering. You got him stuttering.
Because here's the thing, Miles Turner. It's another thing. It's like the theory all over again. I'm like, in the theory of Miles Turner, I'm interested. In the price tag that comes with it, I'm like,
that's the only thing that. What's he getting? 20 million?
For only 2 years.
Yeah, he got what, 4 years, 80 million.
Yeah, but it's only 2 more years left. This one and next, so you're kind of like on a short leash with that too. So like, it doesn't work out this year, next year.
You gotta. The thing is, you gotta pay guys too. Like, it depends on who we ship out and bring guys in, how you fill up that roster spot. And I can't do the mental gymnastics to even think about who you'd want and who would be a free agent then. But to just like gut instinct to think about 20 million for a center coming in who is behind Sabonis.
Sabonis is a beast.
That's tough to swallow, man. That's really tough to swallow to think.
You think they're gonna play them together this year?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, probably. Because to John's point,
I'm scared of the
Carlisle was like,
bro.
"Yo, we got a center now. He's getting out there."
Now you're playing. Go play.
Go stand.
Another guy was like,
stand there with your hands up, bro. Don't do nothing else, dude. Exactly. Just stand there, get the rebound, and give it to Sabonis. He's gonna shoot threes like Dirk.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then LeVert's nice there too. I think they're gonna be solid, actually.
I don't want to give Indiana any. All
right, that's fine. That's fine.
Brogdon's gonna probably be injured.
Brogdon will be injured,
and I like how
LeVert will play some and they'll be injured.
Right. I like how IQ and Duarte got some beef.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
They got some beef. I like it.
That's true.
That's true. You want to talk about AARP for a rookie?
That's an old man right there. That's a grown man.
Obi's looking at him like, God damn, bro.
How old are you,
bro? Oh man, let's cap off this Knicks talk, and then I really want to get into some wire questions. What do you think? What do you got for the prediction for this upcoming season? How many wins you got for this team?
Okay, I said it the other day. It made my hands sweaty, but I'm sticking with it. I say we get 53 wins this year.
Holy shit!
So let me give some context on my predictions.
Please.
Last year, I was the only person in my immediate people to say we would get 40 wins. The only person that we even predicted that we'd go to the playoffs. So, in that fact, because I knew we got Tibbs, I knew that we had a team that was going to progress and not regress when it came to Tom Thibodeau. And now that Tibbs actually has a team that works well with his style of coaching, the sky's the limit. I'm going with 53 and I'm sticking to it. I'm not putting no money on it, but I'm sticking with 53.
Since you guaranteed the 40 win over 40 wins last season, now you got 50. If that's the case, man, I need you to tell me what the winning lotto numbers are after this season. Right?
12, 13, 14.
This is about to turn into a Lost episode.
Drop
the numbers on it.
Oh God. John, what do you got for yourself, man?
I mean, I just want Julito to be right. Can I just, can I just do that? No, I mean, I was capping at like 47.
47, okay.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with 50. I'll take a 50 burger. That could be my number. Give me 50.
I'm gonna be honest. I had 50, but I was looking at our run at the end, our last like 6-7 games.
Mm-hmm. There's two bad stretches. There's two bad road stretches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Before that,
yeah.
But at the end, I believe we play like the Cavs in like the last 4 games. We play Toronto, who probably won't be playing for anything. We play some really bad teams at the end that may get us that 53 hump, just off of either players resting their players or players not being that good, and we trying to like end on a bang. That's why I'm giving a 53. It's really like a 50 though.
But by end on a bang, you mean Tibbs is just not resting anybody?
Not resting anybody.
That's the thing, dude.
Kemba's playing 38 minutes, 2 games before the playoffs.
That's what we learned, bro. That's what we straight up learned. If Tibbs wants to be the Peyton Manning of the NBA, then so be it. Give me that 50 burger and like let us die out in the playoffs.
Let us die out in the playoffs. We made it. Listen, we made it. You can't take the playoffs away from us. We made it. Yeah, Kemba twisted his ankle because his neck hurt so bad.
Oh, God, man.
But we died on the court. We died trying, baby.
We made the playoffs. Who cares? We let Deuce play 30 minutes in the game 1 of the playoffs because Kemba's knees hurt.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that too. I'm with you.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to be I guess I'm the conservative one. John, you said 47, right? I'm gonna go. I think I've said 48, 49 around there. I think it was.
I'm taking 50, baby. I'm taking 50.
Okay,
taking 50.
I'm on the 50.
Don, I'm holding this shit to you.
I'm on the 50, baby. I'm on the 50.
Keep 50 all year. When we go on an 8-game losing streak, keep 50.
I'm about to buy a shirt. This is 50.
What you got, Alex? You said 48?
I'm going to go with a firm 48 just because I feel like, man, I got to account into like guys being hurt. Like that's the way I'm thinking. Like when I'm looking at like Kemba, think about Kemba specifically. Like the only way I feel like we're getting like Kemba is going to miss some games just because of his knee arthritis. I feel like that like he's going to be playing a lot better than he did last season, in my opinion.
No, of course he is.
He got rushed. He got rushed into the season. Wasn't even aware of it. I think that's on record from what I heard. I've heard that from numerous sources. So he's really the one because he's going to be the catalyst. He's the starting point guard. Like the second unit's going to do its thing, and then if you have to bump up D Rose to the starting unit if Kemba's missing time, or you have to bump up IQ, I love what Deuce did during Summer League. Am I going to say that that's automatically translated into the NBA? It's kind of hard. If it is, I will be jumping out windows. If I see Deuce just like giving it to people on a nightly basis and it's like, we're okay, you will find me outside every freaking building in New York City screaming, probably being naked, just running around the streets like so excited because that's what's
even his ability
2 years in a row, we got a top rookie. Just like late in the draft, I'll be going wild.
Bro,
wild with it.
Even his ability to care would be like a mountaintop achievement. Like remember you screaming about Elfrid Payton just sitting on the bench, Alex, from regular season games? Like, Julito, do you remember how he was looking? Like, I will never forget watching
I screenshotted that shit, bro. Like, he was annoying my soul, bro. He'd be every time he'd get off the bench, he'd get off the floor, he'd go to the very far end of the bench and just stare at the team in like agony.
So anything is better. Anything, and like, dude, like, I'll be honest, for game 2, I had terrible seats. I was like in the 200s, but all the way up in the back. So I was like watching everyone go nuts, and like, you had all these people, you had all the staff, you had all the players, and everyone's going nuts, energy everywhere. And the one human being that's catching my eye that just like literally like I don't know, does he have like an aura around him of just like walking up and down the court, slowly walking through, like how do you even slowly walk? Like I'm like running around like in circles. Like, like I don't know.
To be honest, not to cut you off, but to be honest, we don't have any Achilles heel on this team this year.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That's going to change the game for us tremendously, bro. We don't have any player that's like a wild card. That's like, Mitch is just like maybe annoying to his teammates probably because he's just so immature and he wants to joke all day and Derrick Rose is not joking with Mitchell Robinson. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going on the Mitchell Robinson block party show, right? Like, he's not doing it. But
Brett Gardner.
We have no Achilles heel. It looks like they're gonna make a name for the bench. The bench mob. Like IQ and Grimes are gonna hang out. Like, we have a team that's like a fully thought out team, like a foundation team. It's gonna change the game for us. A lot of teams don't have that. A lot of teams have, though, this player gets paid too much. This why like, I brought up the Atlanta Hawks with the Sharif Cooper deal. Like, Sharif Cooper wants to be the starting point guard. Like, he has that mentality. Yeah. He wants to be the guy. Davion Mitchell wants to be the guy over De'Aaron. De'Aaron wants to leave. Buddy Hield wants to leave. Yeah. DC is weird. It's just weird. Like, it's just a weird team. It's like, who are we? They got KCP who's gonna act like he's like the LeBron of the team. It's gonna be very weird over there. Like, every team has something that's just like a little weird
issue. Yeah,
Knicks don't, man, and that's gonna change. That's gonna be the difference maker for us, man.
That's a fact. I mean, if we look at every single player, when we see the videos of like Quentin Grimes getting hyped and just putting work in this offseason, Deuce McBride, IQ, Obi, like, all these guys are working. Like, all these guys, like, fuck the Ball is Life website. That is the New York Knicks. Ball is Life is the New York Knicks. All these guys are Julius Randle working out. We see everyone just talk about working out.
Alex, then he took a small deal, so it's not like he's getting paid $35 million a year for people to judge it and be like, he's not at $35 million. Julius, for what he got, he deserves. He's getting, what is it, 21, 20? He deserves that deal. So it's like, look at LA. Westbrook, they ain't gonna know who to give the ball to. Boston, they just mad because they ain't doing nothing in the play. Every single team has something that has you that can be a cancer in the locker room. We don't.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That is true culture building. And like, when you talk about Boston, it's so funny because, like, being out here and having this, people are so weirded out by the Celtics. They have no idea.
It's a very weird team.
It is like, everyone's just like, when you think about
Cannon, baby, don't worry.
And his Cantor can't choose between Portland and Boston. That's just weird. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's probably like, am I on the hot seat? Am I getting traded for Damian Lillard? What's going on here? I have no idea.
They're making Marcus Smart their point guard this year.
That is the weirdest thing I ever
thought. That's so weird.
And I know there's some people who are like in the camp like, this should have happened years ago. I'm like, what?
I know,
I was like,
no sense.
In what world should this man be a starter? If you watch, like, he has improved in shooting, but he is not a shooter, man. He is just.
He's not.
I can't.
And then we didn't even talk about the team that's across the bridge.
We don't mention
that team's just drama.
That's
just drama.
They're the epitome of, like, confusion. Like, we don't even know if they even like each other, for real. It's every team has an Achilles heel. If you think about it, we really don't. The only thing that's hovering over us is the Mitchell Robinson deal. And it's either going to happen or not. At the end of the day, he was the last pick of the draft.
All right, he moved up. He went from undrafted to the last pick.
There we go.
At the end of the day, like, if that's our only gripe in the entire season, I think we're gonna be successful. To be honest,
that and injuries.
Injuries is our only thing. But I feel like New York gods are gonna put something on Kimba's knees.
Yeah, we're praying to the knee gods.
He's gonna play like 77 games this year. We're gonna be like,
the Fat Joe's gonna bring him to the DR.
Yep. He's gonna look like Gaucho's Kimba Walker. You know what I mean? Like Connecticut Yukon Kimba Walker. You know?
I love that.
Oh man, if that oh my god. These are just dreams.
Remember this conversation, y'all. Remember this conversation.
It's now imprinted in the interwebs forever.
Pin this.
You know how that goes, man.
Word up.
Pin this. But Julito, I love talking Knicks, man. This is great, man. But we can't let you go before we get on the wire topics, man. Come on, because I have to. There's so many. I love the show. Actually, I gotta give you the story. So we started this. I didn't I knew about The Wire, but I didn't get the intrigue to The Wire until I went to law school. My buddy, my roommate, he started watching it, and he does it's every every year that he has to rewatch the entire show all over again. So he has it on, watching. I'm like, man, this is moving really slow. I'm a very active person. I play basketball like 3-4 times a week. I have to be doing something. I have to be moving. Like that's just my person. I have to be doing something. And so then I saw my other buddy. He was watching The Wire too because he's actually from Baltimore. I'm like, all right, this is generating some intrigue now. Meet my fiance. She's like, we should watch The Wire. I'm like, okay, we got to watch The Wire now.
The fiancés always do it. They always get it.
So I was like, all right, let's watch The Wire. So we started watching The Wire while I was in law school. We started season 3, but unfortunately things just like got so hectic with our lives, it came on pause. Now quarantine comes along. We finish it. And it is I got to tell you, like because we started with season 3, finished, it is the writing is just phenomenal. The storytelling is just phenomenal. Like the acting is just on another level. The realness to the situation is just on another level. Just like from where I am, I'm from like White Plains, but I worked in Mount Vernon. So I got to see like some of the similarities that was going on in The Wire in that area. And I'm just like, wow, this is so relatable. Like there's so many truths to this, like such a phenomenal show. So I just want to start off like that. So I recently finished The Wire, like, what was it, 2020? Like, what was it? April 2020?
Not even a year ago, right? Not even a year.
Yeah, not like, well, I guess, yeah, about close to about a year, a little bit over a year ago, that we finished it. So just want to give you that premise. But I got to start off, man, like, how did you, like, what is your, I guess just to start off, what is your thought on like the entire Wire, the series, everything that went into it? What is your whole thought on The Wire?
Yeah. First off, thank you for even jumping in on it. During a tough time for all of us. It was interesting that HBO like did an article, or someone did an article about like The Wire like rising in viewership over the quarantine. So it's pretty cool that everybody got to connect with it. Nah, man, I'm just grateful, to be a part of something that people love so much. And I honestly, when I talk about The Wire, or when I even watch it, I watch it from a perspective that I'm not in it. I'm just a fan of good work. And it's timeless, man. It's something that, you don't need to redo because it's still, relevant. It's still here. They're still having debates with like shows that came out last year about, is it as good as The Wire? Is it right? Like, and to be a part of a show where you're still talking about it and it's been off air for 15 years, right? Like we don't, there's a few shows there's a lot of shows that once they're off TV, you may talk about it for a year or two, maybe even 5 years, but 15 years later, you know what I mean? That's huge. And I'm just grateful, man. And I'm glad everybody loves it and they connect to it. And, it's necessary. It's necessary TV, man. And I actually don't even think it's television. I just think it's life. It's like watching a true reality show because unfortunately, that's how our world looks, man. Our systems look the way that the Wire, speaks about the systems. Our schools, they are ran the way, season 4 school was run. I love the fact that it gave a voice to the voiceless. You know what I mean? It didn't pigeonhole people. It showed a full person, from a drug dealer to an addict, all the way up to the mayor, right, and to politicians, all the way up to school teachers, and it just showed people in their entirety. And I think if you watch the show and you feel connected, it's because it's about you, it's about us, and I'm grateful that everybody still loves it and talk about it still to this day.
No, I think that's a great point. Like everyone can feel connected to it. And I think everyone can feel connected to it. One, not just because of the social injustice that we saw with George Floyd last year, but we see, I think, even with some element, like in your own community, you see something along those lines, right? Whether it's officers not getting paid, or the corruption in the police department, or it's the corruption or the underfunding of the school district, or maybe it's how the mayor is like directing funds and what their priority is, and that the mayor is just worried about re-election than rather getting their job done, or going all the way down to like the drug dealer and what their mindset is, and like how things are moved, how things are going along. And just to like your average day workers at the docks, like they're just trying to make have a honest living wage, but they have to do a little bit more in order to make just a livable wage. So I think for everyone, it's just for the American people, like I think it can touch so many lives, because at some point you had to see that. You probably know somebody who has gone through that or has experienced that. And especially for me, like my family is like so ingrained in public school system. So like I got to see like what happens when you don't have, you know, teachers getting the funds, and you have kids who are left back, or you see these talented kids who just don't have the resources. You know, my sister, she was a guidance counselor in the Bronx for a second alternative high school. So she had to work with those type of students, you know, students who are not privileged enough to have laptops during quarantine, who couldn't go on Zoom meetings. And you're like, it was just like a struggle to get them all this technology just so that for them to attend,
or even learn
classes,
or even know how to work it. If they got it for free.
Yeah,
that's right. Like it's deep.
No, so like I think for everyone, like it can touch on so many lives, and that's what I love about The Wire. And to move on, like I just like I think the one thing that I have to, because my fiance wanted me to ask you this question, and she wanted, because she pointed out to me, the boss lady had to come through and had to give me the question to ask. She's like, did you notice that, because she noticed that the women in each role, like they weren't necessarily like the most sophisticated or the most educational like minded, but she pointed that out. She's like, how come every woman, you know, isn't like one of the men who are like savvy or just know how to do that? So for the most part, so I'm going to ask you that. What do you think about that process? Like, what do you think attributes to that?
I think there were moments. Listen, no show is perfect, right?
Yeah.
And I think there were opportunities where they dropped the ball on, right? I did love Kima's character because in her workforce, in her workplace, she was like the boss. She taught people things. She was like a leader amongst the men, right? Then at home, right, she kind of faltered. So I do think there were moments where we got to see women shine, but I honestly agree with her. I think they dropped the ball in some instances just because it was a different time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that time, we weren't really... There wasn't enough conversation being had about women and their opportunities and how... And we weren't doing our best as men to empower women. Right, especially at that time. Even, you know, and shout out to Nina Noble. She's one of the producers amongst the rest of the guys, all the executive producers and the guys. And you know, she was like a very stern, and like Nina scared me, yo. She was like on point. And you know, so I think we could have done a better job maybe at just empowering our women characters. But yeah, at the same time, it's not perfect. And you know, with a male-dominated show, you know, it's only but so much you can do in an hour. But I just think, I love that, you know, we're learning these things, and these conversations are being had, and these uncomfortable conversations are in the lead, right? Because now we can see what we did wrong, and things are shifting. And like, you know, we got, I think next Black Panther is about to be Shuri, but you know what I mean, from the comics, because her character was right. Then she turned into like a Black Pantherish kind of character. Like, I love the fact that we are empowering women and supporting their leadership because it's necessary, for sure. So, boss lady, I got you, and I see.
It won't happen again.
It won't happen again. Not if I'm creating something. I'm creating strong, powerful women characters. And you know, I'm sure David and Ed and those guys, you know, they've looked at it and noticed it, and I think they did a good job on the latest effort they did with the Deuce. It was like a 2-3 season show, but they had some really strong, powerful women, so they're learning as well, I'm sure.
For sure. And I'm not like, of course, nothing's ever perfect, right? Like,
yeah.
Look, I'm not going to try to get too political on this show. Like,
except for this podcast.
Except for well, I think when you watch The Wire, you can't help but get into the politics, because it's ingrained.
It's a political show.
It's a political show. Like you can't help but talk about it. But you know, like, of course, nothing's perfect. It's not necessarily a complaint. It's just like an acknowledgement. Like, have you noticed this? And it's like, of course, like at that time, like you're not expecting that, right? I mean, I guess not expecting that, but it wasn't like who was making the room for the most part. Like you point out, Julito, like, so it's not a fault. It's just it was what it was then. And
it's the conversation of the time.
Yeah,
it just wasn't pushing a woman empowerment movement like how it is now. I love that we're talking about mental health. We're talking about women and their traumas and what they're experiencing. The Me Too movement. All of these different experiences are now in the forefront when it should have been, because it affects us all the time. So I love that there are moments where we've seen a shift, and everyone was flawed in The Wire, though. That's the thing. Everyone was flawed. Everyone had a moment where they like showed that they were human, and
And I think that's the beauty about the show, right? Everyone showed that they're flawed, and like everything has its flaws. So I love that they're progressing, though, and that we're getting more lead and strong female like role women actors, and more strong women like roles in shows. But another question I have for you, though, on The Wire is, how did that all start? How did it all start to begin with, really? Like how did you find out about the part of playing Naaman Bryce? Like how were you like headhunted? Where did you just audition? Like how'd that come about?
It was kind of a seamless process, to be honest, because I was already working in the industry. I had did Akila and the Bee prior to that. I did a bunch of spots on like Law and Order, a bunch of different things, Miracle Boys, and I just went on a regular audition. I tell this story all the time, but I'll say it for you guys listeners. A week before I did the Wire's audition, I was at a different audition, and they gave us like a questionnaire to answer. For some reason at the audition, it was so weird, but they wanted to get to know the actors or whatever. So they wrote, like, one of the questions was, "What's your favorite TV show?" And at that time, I'm like, I don't watch TV. Like, I'm like outside. You know what I mean? So I asked my mom, I'm like, what should I put? And she's like, put The Wire. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, listen, if this show ever has kids, it's gonna be
she knows the vision, baby. She knows the vision,
right? And I was like, okay. And then a week later I get The Wire. So I'll give a different part of the story that I haven't told anyone, is that so I went on the Wire, the first Wire audition. Maybe I went on like 2 auditions at this point, and I was at an audition for something else, and I saw an actor kid I knew. He was walking down the street and he was like, yo, Julito, congrats. And I was like, on what? He was like, yo, I heard you got The Wire. Mind you, I'm still in the audition process. And he's like, yo, I heard you got The Wire, congrats. And I was like, thank you. Like, I'm not going to say I did it.
Of course, that whole thing.
Yeah, so I guess word around the street was already, like, maybe he spoke to his agent because he probably auditioned. Sometimes you hit your agent up like, yo, did you hear anything back? Did they say anything? And maybe his people told him they were interested in me. So it was one of those processes where it was like, you go in a ring, basically. You go in like it's a marathon, man. You going up against that first initial audition. They're probably auditioning like thousands of kids. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. It's the lead series where you're gonna be in 13 episodes and you're one of the leads. Like, they go on a very thorough audition process, but. I think when I went in there from the very first moment, I think David Simon was like, that's Naaman. I truly believe that, because just what I saw, the essence of Naaman, and I didn't understand this as a kid, but now looking back and when I watch it, I'm like, damn, like, I don't know who could have played that kid, to be honest. And honestly, it's, I like I said, I watch it like it's not me. You know what I mean?
But that's the coolest part, bro. That's that's what I've never watched The Wire, right? So, a couple things on that, but like the first thing is, every time I listen to you talk about it, I'm like, I've never heard. It's very rare where like, especially someone that's like, forget making any kind of content or any kind of media, want to listen back, but like on a show that you're the main character of, like, you want to watch it and you talk about it and you like it, like, on purpose. Like, nobody's paying you to talk about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that for me is crazy. And like, that it's like, you don't have to say, like, we all know that it's like part of the upper echelon, right? Like, you hear Mad Men, you hear The Wire, you hear Sopranos, Breaking Bad. Exactly. You hear all these shows like together. Game of Thrones was off that already because it didn't end well. So it's already it's
Why did you do that just now, John? You didn't have to bring up Game of Thrones.
It's above that.
You said 4 shows and then you like,
exactly. But I'm letting you know, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Game of Thrones. Why?
It's like not even a thing. I know, dude. It hurts. I know it hurts.
It hurts everybody. everybody.
But I'm saying like that's so.
Yeah, I get it. I agree. I agree.
That's how crazy it is. Like that's how that's big props to the show. So for me personally, let me ask you real quick. Are you watching Sopranos? You just mentioned the Sopranos.
I am.
Are you watching for the first time?
I'm watching for the first time. I'm on episode 7 of season 1. Yes.
Okay. So I have to make the decision during quarantine. What I'm gonna start. It just happened to be that I chose the Sopranos.
Okay. It's so good.
But now that we've gone through this Knicks journey together, especially the game 2 outside, and now that
it's time, sir.
Especially the way that you talk about it, dude. Like the fact that the way you're not like, oh yeah, who cares, whatever. Like it's my old thing that was 15 years ago, man. Stop asking me about it. It's like not how it is at all. You're like, yo, go watch it. I think I'm back on the bandwagon, and I'm gonna.
I think it's time, John. I'm gonna
watch. But let me one little like tidbit. You said that you were jealous of one of your friends because they haven't watched The Wire yet. So
I know. My dude, and it's tough for him. Like Alex, you were talking about when you were first watched it. It's a little slow. Yeah. So he's hearing everybody talk. Like he'll rewatch. It's one of my close friends. He'll rewatch like when I do these pods and I talk about it. And he's like, "Yo, it seems so interesting." But he also has like ADD, so it's hard for him to like sit and watch. That first season can be a little. I get it. But if you just connect to it and get past, get past the first season.
Oh, it's happening. I'm gonna get past.
And then don't listen to what anybody thinks about the second season.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the second season is one of the best.
Okay.
Ooh, I do. That's hot. That is hot.
No, because there's some people don't realize, and I didn't realize it either, right? Because I started to fall victim to like what people think about the second season. There are some moments in the second season that are like legendary Wire moments.
Deal.
Granted, it's not what you get in season 3, 4. You know what I mean? It's not that. But they're legendary moments. So because I love the underdog, clearly I'm a Knicks fan. I love the second season.
All right.
But if you really truly just give it a chance, listen, it's once you get to season 3, bro, you're gonna be like, oh shit.
I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna put. It's gonna be my in between because like once football season starts. I know you're not too much into football. Yeah. But once football season starts, man, like on the off days, I need a break. Like I physically need to watch something.
Because football is real with y'all, man. Y'all, I don't know how y'all do. It's a lot.
It's a roller coaster.
Condensed into was it 15 weeks?
Yeah, it's 18 weeks.
Oh, it's more. It's 18 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they extended the season, huh?
Yeah. Now to Labor Day till Christmas, man. That's it. It's like don't talk to me. Don't tell me to go anywhere on a Sunday. I'm not coming. It's
church.
I go on Saturdays during football season, man. It's tough out here. Gotcha. So I'll keep you updated on
join the squad, man.
Season by season.
Create a thread on Twitter just so we can follow what you feel.
I got you.
So we can just see what's going on because I think you'll like it. I do.
I don't even think you need to wait to get through all of season 1 to season 2 to really start picking it up. I think halfway through season 1, once you get through halfway through season 1, it really starts to get very interesting. Right around that mark, like
oh my god,
honestly, it's a trip.
Where's Wallace? Where's Wallace, man?
Oh man! So don't even do this to me because
I'm not. I'm just saying, man. You'll get it in like soon.
I can't wait.
Don't do this to me, man.
One of the coolest things about it's a tougher echelon of shows. Also, there's never been a spoiler. Like there's never been a spoiler for any of these shows. Yeah, like there's just like there's like a certain respect for like these for like these shows. Like nobody cares about Avengers. We saw McCoy tweeting that. Like nobody cares about like there's no respect. But like these types of shows, like
and on top of that, John, what's so ill about it is even if you may be possibly spoiled, you still when you watch it live and you're first experiencing it, it's not gonna change anything. Like there's some people who may know like 1 or 2 people that died just because maybe it's a conversation on Twitter or some shit.
Yeah.
But you'll see it and you'll still be like, oh,
whoa, I didn't see that coming.
The how it all happens is the how it all happens for everything is like really just like the way that it just grabs you in. I'm actually because we watched you on Knicks Film School and listened to Andrew. I'm so jealous that Andrew got to watch. I don't even know how Andrew did it in 24 hours. That is impressive.
No, but he did one season.
Oh, okay.
He did season 3, right?
No, he watched my season 4.
Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, he's a madman.
He's a beast.
I cannot watch 13 episodes.
Wow.
I'm watching The Sopranos right now, and at 45 minutes in, I'm like,
I know.
So,
It is. Oh man, I can't even think about going through hours again. We just finished Loki. I was just like, whoo.
Yo, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Are we getting older or what? But like, an hour is long as fuck.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm watching The Sopranos right now. Like, yo, like I'm in the middle of it. I felt like I was watching this episode for like 3 days.
I know. It feels like
20 minutes in, and I'm sitting here like, what the.
Yo, we need to have you back on and really have a conversation on if streaming, like if binging is like a bad thing, because I feel like some shows are meant to binge and some shows aren't meant to binge.
I can't binge anything anymore. I'm falling asleep 3 hours.
Yeah, same.
Unless it's The Office, but that's another conversation.
Oh man, The Office.
You saw The Office, right?
Fair.
Have you seen The Office, John?
That was fair. Yes, I've seen The Office.
Okay.
That was fair.
Really good. If you didn't watch The Office, I would have leave meeting. I would have left.
That's a fair jab. But actually, my nighttime show has been Fresh Prince. I've been running through the seasons right now back because it might be the funniest and most relevant still show of all time. Like I don't know how they're relevant. Like they're just like even
it is.
Even the jokes are like I don't know. Even like the pop culture references are still like classic.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm gonna go with Martin over Fresh Prince, but
Martin's
gotta
good.
go Martin
like
over
Martin.
Fresh Prince.
Are you taking that on the tiebreaker, Alex? Are you taking Martin?
Oh no, I've gotta go Fresh Prince. I love Fresh
Prince. Fresh Prince too?
Yeah.
Wait. How old are y'all? How old are you, John?
29.
I turned 32 this year.
Damn it, y'all went Fresh Prince?
Yeah, Fresh Prince is my jam.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what it was? I think it's because it was on Nick at Night, man. Like it was always run on Nick at Night, and I was always watching Nick at Night. So it was like the first thing that's like ingrained to me. So it's like, okay, Will Smith, Fresh Prince, and my mom was also very big into Will Smith, and so like Will Smith was like also one of my favorite actors. So just from like the get-go,
Big
it was
Willie
like
style, bro. That Big Willie style.
I think what it is with Fresh Prince is that Will is who he is now. What I liked about Martin was that it wasn't necessarily about Martin.
Yeah.
It was about a show.
It was a sitcom.
As opposed to Fresh Prince is like a vehicle for Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why maybe I'm a little...
Okay, that's fair.
I hedge more towards, Martin.
That's fair. The art of it. I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, it's more of the conglomerate rather than Fresh Prince. Outside of maybe Carlton, like Fresh Prince is Will Smith.
It's just cheap laughs for me. Like he's calling fat all day. I'm down. Like call Hillary dumb. I'm dying. Like
Hillary is still bad, man.
Yeah.
Karen Parsons. Yo, let me give you a quick story. Karen Parsons jumped in my DM like 10 years ago. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
But she said, I forgot. Maybe she had watched something of mine and wrote me. And I swear I thought we were together for like 10 years. I was like, Karen Parsons is my girlfriend now. Y'all can't tell me shit.
Yeah. Hillary? Yeah, that's my girl.
Hillary? She DM'd me. You know what I mean? She DM'd me first. You know what I mean? Whatever.
That's fire, bro. That's fire.
That's amazing.
That's a nice one to have.
Word up.
That's
Word up.
amazing. Oh man, Julito, just to wrap up this amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Did you? So when you were doing season 4, you lived in Baltimore then, right? Were you just down there? Yeah. So what was it like, man? What was it like living in Baltimore during that time?
It was cool. I mean, I didn't really get to experience Baltimore as much as I probably wanted to because every weekend I'd go back to Brooklyn. Yeah. So and when we were on set, man, we shot. Dude, I lived there for basically a year, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. I was on set. So I didn't really get to experience the culture as much as I probably wanted to. But at the same time, on set, we shot in the middle of those neighborhoods that we talked about. And it was crazy a little bit. You know what I mean? You're on this set. Imagine, like, you grew up in probably one of the roughest projects in your life, but now it's a movie set in the middle of that project. And like people out, like I can always remember the very first time I got on set and I walked from my trailer. For some reason, they parked the trailer like 10 blocks away. So we had to walk through the neighborhood and I'm walking, the security's walking me to the set and like people are on, like everyone's on their stoop. And they're just like, I remember this lady's like, "Oh, he must be a new character this year. I ain't never seen him before." And like,
hilarious.
yeah, it's just I think that helped create what you all saw when you watched The Wire, because we shot in the essence of it all, and I think that just was a part of the show. The fact that it wasn't like, I was on a show before and they wanted us to go to Toronto to create New York. Sure, and it's just it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's just not the essence of it. Actually, you'd be surprised how many shows are they're shot in Toronto, but you think it's New York. It happens
for tax purposes.
For tax purposes, right?
Okay.
But yeah, the fact that we shot in Baltimore, man, it was special, man. Baltimore is like a main character of the show outside of the system. Baltimore is the show, and I'm glad we got to be in the essence of it, and those people were so amazing, man. Like, granted, of course, there's crime, there's drugs, there's all of that,
in between
man.
sets. You were saying that?
While we're shooting, we had to pause the drug dealer sometimes, and
like, come on, guys, it's like one more shot, please.
One more shot. Sometimes that would be the conversation, like, yo, we just got a few more scenes, please. But at the same time, man, those people were so great, and they were like, just people just trying to figure life out, and just, they were respectful, never any disrespect, because we came to the set with respect. And I think as long as, and I'm from the hood, and I learned as long as you bring respect to the hood, it's gonna bring you back. It's gonna give it back to you, because no one's out there to truly just be ignorant and just disrespect and violate, right? And they, and even in Baltimore, I still got a lot of friends that I met from the set. I still, shout out to my brother Mac Wilds. He played Michael on the show. He married an extra from the show. That's his wife, and they have a child now, right? Like,
nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that was like family, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have asked for it to be any different.
All right, man, I'll watch it, bro. I'll watch
Come on, John, I'm doing this for you.
I got you, bro. I got you.
I'm speaking my heart out for you to watch the show, John.
I got you.
But I could tell how special it was, and you can tell like how special the show is because of how you're talking. Like John talked about, like, it truly sounds like a family, show, like everyone feels like a family, like from the set, from like the city, from everything, and like I could feel that heart coming from you, Julito. Yeah. But the one question I got for you, man, the hair, man. How noticeable were you with the hair, man? Because the hair is just like, look, it not only was like the identity of Naaman Bryce, and it kind of was like essentially, I remember who was it? I remember one of the guys in the show, I forget who it was, but they wanted Naaman to cut the hair because you stood out. That was your identity, and it made it seem Bodie. That's right. But we asked Naaman to cut his hair because he stood out. You didn't want to stand out. It seems like, what it really shows, like from working the block, is like it's like a militia, right? Everyone's got to look the same. Everyone's got to dress the same. You can't be identified. It got to be So look this way. But Naaman didn't want. He wanted to be his own person, which. I think that's why I rooted for him, because he wanted to be his own person. He didn't want to be on that track, and like he was also you were also very fly. You know what I mean? Like you were like you were wearing every jersey. I was like, yo, god damn, that every jersey, bro. Like
I didn't know about that. Was that yours? Or was that?
No, that was the wardrobe. All wardrobe. Oh, I wasn't even a jersey guy at that time, to be honest. I don't even think I owned a jersey. So no, that was all wardrobe. Okay. No, I agree with you, bro. Like I think Naaman's character was misunderstood. When you watched it as a kid, like at that time, because we had like transition. The Wire went from like the first 3 seasons being like, an older HBO show to like my season. They had 4 kids as the lead. We started promoting on like TRL and 106 in Park, and we became heartthrobs. It was like a thing, right? So, the audience shifted into a much younger crowd. And people judged Naaman, they did, because he wasn't your like stereotypical gangster on a movie or a TV show. He was a human kid, right? Like a kid that acts like he's tough sometimes, but really deep inside he's not. A kid that doesn't have it all figured out. A kid that's just trying to navigate the life of being a drug dealer and a 14-year-old kid, right? Like you just don't have it all figured out. And I loved playing that character because I was like, this is our children. Like, how many kids do you see walking around as like the capo, as like the boss, as like, no, that's not reality. The reality is these kids are gonna be
soldiers.
right. Like not everybody's a soldier. You know what I mean? Like the reality is these kids. Sometimes they may pump fake. Sometimes they may cap. Sometimes they may act like they're something they're not. And I love that aspect of it. And I think when you watch it as an adult, you see Naaman differently than you probably did if you watch it at 16 years old. And you're just like, why is Naaman fronting? Or why is he this? Right? So I don't want to give it away for you, John. But
I felt that. I actually felt the hesitation. I felt that. You're about to say, why did he?
No, I'm not going to say anything.
I felt that.
But what I will say is that, I love that character because he was human, and that's why I love the show. These characters are just humans, and you'll get to experience it. But if you felt anything, that's the thing. Any role I take, because there was a moment where I was getting a lot of like the villains, quote unquote, of movies and television shows, and I'm like, my job as an actor is to have you feel something. The moment you feel something, I've done my job, whether you like me or not. If you feel it, I can even shift that to like the Knicks. The reason we're so big is because you feel something. Whether you hate the Knicks horribly or you want them to succeed, you feel something. There's some teams out here in the league no one even cares about anything. They don't care if they win. They don't care if they lose. They're just like, I don't care.
Shout out to the Pelicans.
Shout out to the Sacramento Kings. You know what I mean? You just don't care. It's like you won, cool. You did it, cool. Like. Even though I was a huge Sacramento fan when
Doug Christie,
Bobby Jackson, Mike Bibby. That was a squad, yo. That was a squad because they were going against the Lakers, and I hate the Lakers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If you feel something, you feel something, and I think that's the mission. And the hair was just a mind of its own, man. And I'm kind of growing it back a little bit. I don't know.
All right. We feel you.
Yeah, I had cut it. It was so much of a like me because even before I did The Wire, it was like my thing. Like people in the neighborhood knew me for my hair, and then when I got on The Wire, it became like a character. And then when I cut it, it was literally like I don't know the scripture from the Bible. What's his name? Samson in the hair, and I was just like, it felt like I
feel you, bro. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah, I ain't got those problems yet. But, I mean,
just embrace it, bro. Just embrace it.
I'm good. I'm good. My hairline's still intact. I ain't gonna lie. But nah, man, I love that everything became a character. Everything was a character, and that was special.
And I think that's a great place to end it. Julito. Thank you, my man. Really appreciate you coming on.
Man. I had a blast with y'all, man. Anytime y'all need me on, like I said, I'm on like a little world tour, man, going to my favorite podcasts and jumping on there. But you guys were amazing. Thank you for having me on, and we definitely got to do this again soon, man.
Yeah, well, this was just like the preseason to the 21 Knicks. We got your overall feelings about The Wire. Yeah. Now I gotta watch it. We gotta talk about it real quick.
By next show, you should have watched it.
Exactly, and then we got
a different conversation.
And then we're also gonna be talking about the 50 burger. And we got playoffs. Things are gonna be happening. Things are gonna be happening. Things are
gonna be happening.
Yeah, we appreciate you, dude. We really do appreciate your time, man.
Please, Julito, let everyone know where they can find you. If you got anything going on, let the listeners know.
Yeah, man. Everywhere you can find me at I am Julito on all the social sites. I just shot a movie with Adriana from The Sopranos, actually, which is so interesting that I did not know who she was.
Hey, nice like me.
So bad. so now it's called Safe Space. It's coming out sometime next year. It should be early next year. Directed by Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker is the lead of the joint. It's gonna be really special. I got a lot of things I'm working on, man. You can check my podcast out. It's called Random Thoughts with Julito on YouTube. I took a hiatus off of it, got kind of busy, but I'll be back this fall for sure. We're gonna be talking heavy Knicks on there. We're gonna be talking movies and all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta have y'all on.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Because it's probably gonna end up shifting to like a Knicks podcast. Yeah. Honestly, this is my life. I talk Knicks. I think Knicks. I am Knicks all day. So I was like trying to figure what I wanted to talk about, and then everything was always going back to Knicks. So
yeah, I was listening to you for 2 seconds right now. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a Knicks.
It's gonna be a Knicks.
What are you talking about? Like,
we may end up shifting the name, but but not gotta have y'all on for sure. But yeah, check me out there, y'all, and I got a lot of things happening for the rest of the year, and definitely 2022. It's gonna be a special year. So
awesome,
tap in, man. Tap in
for sure.
We'll see you at the Garden, bro.
At the Garden. Oh man, are y'all going to opener?
I haven't booked it yet. Are you gonna be there?
I'm trying, man. That shit's gonna be crazy, man.
I know. I'm down. I'm down. I have no.
I have this bad tendency to say yes to things, and then I'm like something like I always say yes, and then it's like can't do something that week. Something's important going on that week. I'm actually getting married the weekend before that. So
maybe it'll be like your honeymoon. Man. Listen, she'll understand. If she's the one, which I'm sure she is, she's gonna want to take you to the Knicks game. It just makes sense.
She's embraced a lot by
Alex, just play this on loop, bro. Just cut this out. Send it to her. Be like, look what Julito said, dude.
The one thing we don't talk enough about, y'all, is the women who have to endure the men being Knicks fans. Yes. It's a job within itself.
She is a Bostonian, and I'm so proud about this. She knows more about the Knicks than she knows about the Celtics.
Yes.
I win. She's like, so I saw Frank isn't on the team anymore. I was like, what's his last name? She's like, Meleka. I'm just like, yo, you said it right.
You said it right.
Keeper, let's go.
I was like,
you're marrying the right one, sir. You are marrying the right one. Yeah,
so hyped.
That's like Alex's version of like the Bronx Tale, like the three women. He's like,
she opened the car. She opened the car door for you, bro.
Yeah, that's like, what's Frank's last name? Spell it.
But I am judging the fact that all of our girls know Frank. They always go to Frank.
They always go to Frank. We all know why it is. We all know why. We all know the reason why. So he's got the soul R&B album covers on.
The French
R&B album cover, correct.
The French Prince is the French Prince for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. But yes, everyone, please go make sure to check out Julito's stuff. Please make sure to follow him on all social media platforms. Check out his new movie coming out, and make sure to go follow his pod on YouTube and all. Is it going to be on all streaming platforms?
It's on all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. This upcoming fall and
going
into next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking. The name will probably be changed come fall when the season starts. But
just make I am Julito. Just make I am Julito.
Nah, I don't want to put my name because if it's gonna be like some sports shit, I don't want. It's not about me. It's what I mean. So
I got you.
I'll ask the vets like you guys, y'all opinion when we get there. Yeah,
we'll get something cooking. We'll get something cooking.
We'll help. But yes, everyone, thank you for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, Etc. podcast. Please make sure to give this episode and this pod just a 5-star review if you listen on Apple Podcasts. And if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, guess what? It's okay. It really is okay. Why? Because we're on all other audio streaming platforms. We're on Amazon, Alexa, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it, we are there. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know you can't leave without hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, and giving this a like, because guess what? You enjoyed it. You watched it all the way through. So if you're hearing this, we better get that stuff because we got some problems afterwards. Also, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. TikTok's on the way, but we got everything. So make sure to follow us all there. And once again, thank you to Julito McCullum for coming on the pod again. We out.